Hi everyone, this is Kelly with Kelly Ann Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in McKinney, Texas, and this is my third card for the month of July. And we're using the Sips and Cheers stamp set, which is part of the Celebratory Sips. That's a lot to say. Suite that is an online exclusive. So we are going to be using the Cheer stamp. We'll be using Let's Celebrate. We'll be using some embellishments. And basically we're using the designer series paper. This is the card that we are going to make. It's very simple. It is just paper, some ink, one embellishment, no hard cutting at all, but we're letting the paper do its work. And because of the colors, you could use this late into the summer and early fall easily to celebrate a birthday, job promotion, getting into college, getting a great roommate at college, anything like that. So let me show you what you get in your kit. You should have an envelope. You should have your card base. Okay, and lots of little bits. Card base. The card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. If you've got a kit from me, I always suggest that you come in and reburnish this so it's nice and crisp. Okay, so that's done. You should have a piece of basic white that is going to be 4 by 5.25. That's for the inside of your card. You should have a peach pie piece, and this peach pie piece should measure 2.5 this way and 5 3/8 this way. Now, if you got a kit from me, unfortunately, I don't know where my brain was, but I made this too wide. So if you got a kit from me, be sure to cut this so it is 2.5 inches wide and leave the length alone. And I apologize for that mistake, but if you're watching this and learning from with the tutorial and you haven't seen, you don't have the kit with you, just cut it 2.5 by 5 3/8. You will have a piece of designer series paper. This designer series paper is 2 7/8 by 5 1/4, and it has a score line at the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm going to turn this over, and hopefully in the shadow you can see where that score line is. And what we'll end up doing is folding this to show the reverse side of our designer series paper on the front. So these two end up being matted and layered together, and the difference in the mat is about 1/16 of an inch all the way around. Okay, you will also have another piece of peach pie. This peach pie piece is going to be 7/8 of an inch by 5 1/8, and then there's a designer series paper that is going to be 1 inch by 5 inch, and it's scored on the quarter. So hopefully you can see the score there. And again, we're going to come in and we're going to just flip that over so you can see the reverse side of the paper. This will get attached to this, and again we have about 1/16 of an inch all the way around, and this will end up going on here on your white piece of paper, and you'll see this all in a second, but that's the logic for this grouping. And you will also have a piece of peach pie that is 7/8 of an inch by 3 5/8, and then you will have a piece of 3/4 inch basic white by 3.5, and it'll fit on here. And again, see, we have this very thin border. So let's put our card together. And again, those measurements are correct in the tutorial you'll get from me. But if you're watching the video without reading the tutorial and you've got your stuff with you, I just want you to be able to know that that one piece was not correct. So I'm going to bring in a silicone mat. We're going to do some gluing first. And when I'm working with such close measurements, I usually do glue. But first thing I'm going to glue is my little flap here, and I'm putting it on my silicone sheet. So if I have any glue that oozes out the edge, it goes onto there. Okay, and I'm just going to lightly burnish that. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to burnish it again, but this time I'm going to burnish it towards that fold. And that way the glue is being pushed to the inside there and should not be spilling over. So I have that piece here. Now I'm going to put that on my mat here and I'm going to glue it because I want that little bit of extra time to be able to zhuzh it if I need to get my borders right. Now, if you are very, very competent with a glue, with like glue tape, go ahead and do that. I do not have as much luck with that. I am much better with the glue. Again, as you can see, it's just about a 1/16 of an inch. Get that as straight as possible. And I'm going to flip it over again. And I'm just going to burnish it. And I'm burnishing it so that the glue flattens out and I get no rippling. And now I'm going to adhere this to the card. Again, I'm going to burnish. But I'm going to use glue and I'm going to burnish from the inside of the card. So yeah, I'm slopping the glue on. It's okay. I want this to be, again, just that very thin amount. So I got a little extra glue here. So what I'm doing is I'm just flipping that over and pulling the glue down. And now I'll put this on the correct way. I just didn't want that blob of glue up at the top. So I moved it around using the actual paper. It's a trick. Again, I want to burnish this, and I'm just going to burnish around on the inside to flatten that out. It's just a nice thing to do whenever you're gluing it. It keeps everything flat. It keeps it from bubbling up. Let's do the inside of our card real quick. Again, that's going to take a little bit of glue. We'll put our white piece there, our mat there, and let's put some glue on here. Now, I put this on pretty sparingly. Hopefully you can see. It's so sparingly, it's not coming out right now. There it is. It's just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot of glue. Okay, again, I'm just going to hold that down, flip it over, and now I'm going to take my bone folder, which is about the right length, and just make that flat. Okay, there we go. Let's put this on our mat layer. The last bit, the stamping and stuff, goes really, really fast. So let's put this on the mat. Again, we're looking at approximately a 1/16 of an inch, might be a little bit more, depending upon how the scoring went. If it moved it, made it a little thinner. But you want to get it so it's pretty even. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're going to go with that. And I'm going to put this on my white piece. So let me get some glue on this. Okay. Now this again is going to have that little bitty border. So we're just going to put that on there. Get our border where we want it. Press it down. Now I'm going to just let this one sit for a minute before I put it on the inside. There's a lot of glued layers there. I kind of would like it to just dry out a little bit. And we're going to close up our glue for a moment. And we're going to do some stamping. We're using one of the new colors, the Timid Tiger. Call it the Tigger. But then I like Winnie the Pooh, so there you go. And we're just going to stamp cheers on here. And these are really juicy, juicy little pads. Now I'm going to try to do this as straight as I can, being at an angle from behind. That's not too bad. Not too bad. We'll take it. And then this other stamp is Let's Celebrate. So we're just going to put that kind of right here. Hopefully I didn't rock it too much. Oh, that looks pretty good. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do while we've got our ink out is we are going to decorate our envelope. This is the stamp right here. It's this stamp. You can use this stamp. You could not do what I'm doing. You could put a garnish or one of the other stamps on the outside. But I'm going to just put this on here, and I'm going to stamp it once, lift it up, and I'm just going to stamp it on a second stamp. It kind of looks like it was there, now it's there. Uh, I don't know. I just like that look. Um, Tell me what you think, because maybe you think that's kind of silly, and you want to say, "Hey, Kelly, I wouldn't do that." But there we have it. There's our envelope done, and now let's just put this together. I'm going to throw a little glue on this too, just because it happens to have a thin border, and I want to make sure I can move it around and get it where it needs to be. Okay. And again, we're looking at that about a 1/16 of an inch. That's pretty good. I'm just going to turn it over, grab my ink pad and shut it, because I now am wearing it. So I could be wearing more of it if I didn't shut it. So we're going to do it like that. Okay, and now we're going to adhere this onto the front of our card. We are going to use some dimensionals. Sorry for the weird sound there. I was just reaching for them. And everybody knows I like dimensionals. So I'm going to probably put like 4 of them on. I'm using the leftover edges of one of my dimension. Oh, come on. Get on there right about there. And I'm doing that because I like to use up every little bit and piece of my dimensions on cards. I'll use all of that on another card that you won't see, but I'll use it up. And this gives me a way of using every last bit, more bang for my buck on the cheapest chips. Have to say the cheapest chips at least once in a video or class. And dimensionals. So I'm going to put this down here. I'm just going to set it there really lightly. I'm going to lift it up to see if I've got this straight, and I don't. I've got it a little bit up. I'm going to just change it again. That's looking pretty good. Right about there. I think that's good. When I really like it, I press it down. Now it's stuck. It's stuck. And we're going to bring in these the new trend color dots. Now these dots are in the annual catalog. Everything else, as far as designer series paper, the stamps and the dies that are part of that one celebratory sips suite, that's all online. Those are online exclusives. But as at the bottom of the video, you've got the numbers, so you don't have to go look them up. And we're just going to put this one little dot on here. What I like, and I don't know if it shows up very well, but they're almost like a chrome effect on each one of these dots. It's like an iridescent clear lacquer on them. So they kind of have really unique coloring, and they're flat. I mean, compared to some of the dots, they're really flat. And I like that because this is going to mail really easy. So that is our card, our third card right here. And here's the one that is my sample. I think I did a pretty good job of getting everything in the same spot. And you know, if you chose to make this a landscape by turning this and putting the sentiment this way, that is a great way to do it too. Make the card your own. Like I said, this is a very simple card. It's just some simple cutting, but I think it's pretty stunning. So thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate you watching my videos. If you can, please like and share my videos so more people can get in on the fun. If you would like to be part of my kits and receive the actual written tutorial along with the basic kit, please put a message in the comments, and I will contact you and tell you how to do that. Again, thank you very much, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.